So we're showing today's number. By the way, if you go back to September, it was more than 50% of people that believed that the Supreme Court would rule in the president's favor. This week, we're also seeing consumer discretionary is the best performing sector. Do you think the market is positioning itself for these tariffs to be struck down?
I don't think that the tariffs being struck down are really the thing that's moving the markets the most. It does create some uncertainty, but the president has said repeatedly he has other tools at his disposal. And the tariffs that we're more concerned about now are more concerned about things like the rare earths and things that are more critical rather than just the level of tariffs, which has gotten down to a more reasonable level.
Okay. Again, we don't know if that ruling's definitely coming up later today. It is possible. However, if they are struck down, keeping in mind what you just said, that the president and the administration says they do have other tools, does that change what sectors that you're seeing opportunities in? Does that change your view of consumer discretionary, maybe even housing, other two sectors, obviously, that are very sensitive to this?
Yeah, the prices that, are a result of that have been affecting companies really on an idiosyncratic basis. But for the most part, they've been able to encompass those, adjust their supply lines, adjust their products, and clients and customers are paying for some of that. So again, I don't think that's the thing that changes your sector weightings.
All right. While we're talking about housing, again, more news yesterday, the idea of the administration buying about $200 billion in mortgage-backed securities. We heard from Bill Pulte. He said that Fannie and Freddie, they could be doing the buying here. Just kind of straighten this out. Does that have a market impact here? We were talking about it as our team about what this could possibly mean for the market. Do you see it having the potential to lower interest rates or creating other liquidity in the housing market?
Well, the president is very clear. He's gotten the message on affordability, and one of the things that's the least affordable is housing. And one of the ways that you can get that to be more affordable is to get interest rates and mortgage rates down. They're related, but not, they're not a one-to-one relationship. Going in and buying mortgages can have a short-term impact, but that doesn't really impact the longer-term rates. And what we've seen is rates are going a little bit higher today. That doesn't mean that they're going to keep on going higher, but the level of uncertainty in the market has created that, in contrast to what you would normally see as a flight to safety and rates going down. So there's still a lot of uncertainty there. It's going to be difficult for him to get affordability better unless housing prices actually start to flatten out or even decline a little bit.
All right, Thomas, you are such a cool head about everything. I like that about you. I do have to talk to you about some of the geopolitical uncertainty that we have just around the globe, including Iran last night. We saw some protests and a lot of very vivid pictures about what's going on there. The president has spoken quite a bit about Iran and possible U.S. intervention there. And then he's also meeting with oil executives about Venezuela. Now, we just read just a short time ago the president's post that there's not going to be a second wave of attacks. But are you positioning for possible geopolitical uncertainty, volatility in the markets? I'm looking at the VIX, only at about 15.5 right now. But is that a concern for you?
Well, sure. The low VIX, it is a potential problem if it starts to go back up again because of the uncertainty. What's happened lately is just emblematic of security issues and trying to get the resources that we can rely on ourselves rather than relying on other countries. And part of that is enforcing a military doctrine where it doesn't feel as though other countries can take advantage of us. And so the actions that have taken place have gone into that. That raises uncertainty in the short term, but if that can be sustained, that can make the U.S. probably a stronger and safer place, and we can actually start to secure those materials and manufacturing that we need to maintain our competitive position.